Out to Arizona Robbins on Grey's Anatomy, and please welcome the lovely and very pregnant Jessica Capshaw.
You're not very pregnant until your knees disappear.
No, I'm not very pregnant.
Well, you picked the right thing
but
to
I'm
win.
pregnant enough to look pregnant.
When are you expecting?
October.
Oh, October.
Yes.
My daughter is expecting sometime
We're
this
on the
month.
same
Yeah,
schedule.
and he's 2.5. Her prior baby is 2.5 years old now.
Yeah.
And your son is 2.5.
My son will be 3 in September.
Now, did you tell your boy what is going on?
My husband and I found out, and we had just found out, and we were sort of, we're new parents, so we didn't know exactly, which way. And we're all so good right now, right? We get so much information about how to be good parents. And so we were just about to embark on how do you tell your child you're about to have a baby. And we're in the playroom, and my son looks at me and says, "Mama, baby in belly." And I was like, "Am I fat?" All of a sudden, my care for his psychological well-being was out the door, and I was a fat girl, right? So, he somehow, I don't know what happened. He must have vibed it, something, and he knew.
They know.
Was he excited?
But he's so excited, and he keeps talking about how the baby's coming in October, and we keep, trying to do all the great things where we talk about, how he's so lucky he's going to be a big brother, and my husband talks about all the, the big brother
great.
days coming, and yet like a month ago, he surprised me with what I guess is going to be his sympathetic pregnancy, because he told me he has a baby in his belly.
Oh.
And some days the baby's named Sumsy, and some days the baby is named Cracker. And he asked me what my baby's name is.
Yeah.
Have you picked out names? Do you?
No. With the first one, I don't know if this happened with you guys. It so overwhelms you. It feels like you're not giving birth to a baby, you're giving birth to a name.
Right.
Because everyone wants to know what you're having.
Yeah.
And people get more excited about girls, I feel. Do you guys? I don't know.
Because there's more clothing out there to buy.
That might be it. Yeah. No, I think that's it. Because I remember when I was having a boy, I would be, all like plucky and full of, I'm growing from a baby. And I would say I was having a boy, and people would be like, "Oh." And then there would be a girl next to me, and someone would say, "What are you having?" And she'd say, "I'm having a girl." And they'd be like, "Oh!"
Yeah, they're making judgments. And also they make judgments about the names that you're considering.
Oh, and they have lots of ideas.
We'll be back in a minute, okay, Jessica?
Every name.
Well, we'll have all kinds of kids. I always thought that I wasn't cut out to be a mom, but you'll be a great mom. You'll be an amazing mom. And I love you so much. And I can't believe that I'm here with my 10 kids.
Scene from Grey's Anatomy. That's Sarah Ramirez. She's a terrific actor. We saw her on Broadway a few years ago. She's
I saw her in Spamalot as well.
Yes, Spamalot.
The Lady of the Lake, yeah.
So now, what's going to happen now?
I know, right? I didn't want to have kids. Now and clearly I changed my mind.
So do they write that into the story?
No, I had that moment where I think a lot of women do, where all of a sudden you're faced with doing your job, but also having a baby.
Right.
And when your job is sort of inextricably linked to the way you look in some way, shape, or form, meaning if you're pregnant, you will look pregnant on a show. I went into Shonda and I was like, I'm pregnant. And she was like, "It's great. That's fantastic.
Yeah.
That's great." And so we talked about it a little bit. I think that it sounds like you saw Arizona change her mind. I don't know who is gonna then have that. I don't know. I'm not allowed to say anything.
Sure. Shonda is your executive producer on the show.
And writer, creator,
Yeah, she's terrific.
So
anyway, but you're very convincing in this role. So convincing that people want to fix you up sometimes with their daughter.
Yes. Usually I'm not with my husband when that happens. But I had a woman that came up to me and sort of, it's so fantastic. We have such amazing, loyal fans that watch the show and get really invested in it. And I think that most people sort of know that I'm like married and have a child and this, that, and the other. But there's always one who will sort of say like, "You're so great on the show, thank you so much." And I say thank you, and I'm so lucky. And then she said, "No, are you gay? And I said, and I'm always sort of like, oh, no, because I feel like that's a disappointing answer for her.
Right.
Got to be very careful these days.
And so I said no, and she said, oh, well, because I have a daughter who's gay, and she's beautiful. And she's like, still telling me the daughter. Really, so if you ever do decide, she's really beautiful. And it was, yeah.
You can't blame a mom for trying.
I know. So anyways, I was very complimented. Yes, hopefully, I guess I'm doing my job.
You are, see that?
So the new season begins, September 23rd?
Oh
Yeah.
my gosh.
Thursday nights at 9 o'clock on ABC. Grey's Anatomy, a big hit. So nice to have you on the show. Good luck. Okay? Coast to Coast Firehouse Cook-Off, Red